After playing Deadly Premonition for roughly 2 hours last night, I just had to sit down and talk about it. I've never played a game for that long without knowing what the heck it was that I was playing, because this game is just off the charts. Okay, let's get down to it. I'm gonna describe it to you with just like weird comparisons. Maybe that's gonna form an accurate image in your head, maybe not, I can't guarantee it. But at the very least, let's give it a shot and see where we end up. So, Deadly Premonition. Maybe to start it off, a game a lot of people hate, a lot of people also very dearly love. Some people even go out and say it's like one of their favorite games of all time. And yeah, the thing that you're gonna see immediately, and have been seeing for the past minute I would assume, is it looks terrible, right? I mean, the graphics look like somebody developed it for the Dreamcast and then said to themselves, well, I guess we can port it to the PlayStation 3 while we're at it. We're not gonna like up-res any textures or do anything about it in order to make it look like it belongs in this time. And it's there. It's there, it looks like this, it plays like this, it runs on like a below 30 frames per second frame rate, which is crazy. There's no reason for it to run like this while it also then looks like this. No reason whatsoever. I mean, a Crysis runs better than this game. I don't know. Is that deliberate? I wouldn't hope so. But anyway, it does, and that's just, I don't know, is off-putting really. I mean, when you look at the trophies, and this is also a really funny thing about it, the first trophy that one should get, right, the one that you get maybe like 20 minutes in or something, only 50% of the people that ever played Deadly Premonition have that trophy. And that just goes to show that a lot of people are immediately put off by the graphics and just the overall aesthetic of it. It is not compelling, not good by any means. And yeah, I still liked it, and that is kind of what I want to get into now. It is thematically very much inspired by Twin Peaks, and that is one of the main hooks, I would say, because you rarely find something like that, like Twin Peaks, and this is very heavily inspired by it. Once again, you are an FBI agent in like a rural American town. A murder just happened, you are trying to find the murderer, it's all mysterious, there's like supernatural elements, and even like this weird subplot with him liking coffee. So very, very, very reminiscent of Twin Peaks. There's no way the developers did not enjoy Twin Peaks and then did this, because that would just be crazy. That does not happen. They watched Twin Peaks and thought, well, that is something I'm very fond of. Let's try something similar to that and pay homage to that, basically, to the like Lynchian weirdness and campiness of Twin Peaks. And then they thought, well, how we're gonna design the gameplay? And they didn't think about that very much, because there's barely gameplay in here. It plays badly as well. It plays almost as badly as it looks, maybe a little bit better. But more or less the action scenes, the action sequences, the horror sequences, I guess you could also call them, are more or less like somebody played Resident Evil 4 and then said to themselves, well, I sure as heck can't program anything like this, but I'm gonna give it a shot and not succeed at it, but still that is what the final release is gonna feature. So it doesn't control well. It apparently, or supposedly, controls better than the original version. I'm now talking about the director's cut, which I forgot to mention. But yeah, still not good. But still, while it does all that, I now said very negative things about it. So far we've had shitty graphics, like eye cancer condensed into one image is Deadly Premonition. Twin Peaks, which is fantastic. And then gameplay, which is once again abysmal, very similar to those graphics. But at the same time, it is very compelling. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the whole Twin Peaksiness about it, that maybe then also combined with just overall Japanese weirdness. If you're familiar with games like Lollipop Chainsaw, for example, or No More Heroes, that kind of stuff also very much factors in with Deadly Premonition. But in a way that I've never seen before, and I didn't think that something like this could work, but strangely enough it does. And maybe, and this is just me speculating, maybe the reason for that is that despite all these shortcomings, despite the fact that they don't know how to develop a game that plays very well and is by any means fun and doesn't look very good, they still, with all that, made the best out of it, I feel. Because there's so much charm in there, there's so much personality in Deadly Premonition that it is tough to play. It is agonizingly slow and just doesn't work. But with all that, it still isn't like frustrating, because the gameplay is also not very difficult at all. I think it's even a little easier now in the director's cut, because they realized, well, most people are gonna play it for the story, so let's not just have them waste time on these shooting sections. But it has a soul, and that is, I think, what I like so much about it, because it does make this brokenness part of the game. It really embraces it and makes that an aesthetic, right? I for example, didn't enjoy Assassin's Creed 3. I think that is like one of the worst games that I've played. Or at least it's one of the games that I enjoyed the least, just because it didn't feel like it was bad for a reason. It was bad in order to make it fit the like lowest common denominator and just please an average. It didn't risk anything. It was just boring and badly designed, in my opinion. It wasn't any fun playing it, in my opinion. This also isn't fun, in my opinion, but it does something with you that then makes it all very compelling. I guess one aspect why it, for example, then exceeds over a game like Assassin's Creed, in my opinion, is that you don't know what to expect from the story. I mean, you're eased in very easily, I would say, just because it has so many similarities to Twin Peaks, and you can kind of get a sense for, yeah, I guess they're gonna do something similar to that. But then, with the fact that the whole like Japanese nature of it is also very much in the DNA of Deadly Premonition, makes me just, I don't know what to expect, right? I don't know what the heck is gonna happen. So many weird things happen in the first 2 hours, where you're constantly thinking, there's no way, this is not deliberate, because this is just terrible right now. How could they even think that this is something that I would want to do at this point? Why do I have to go look for keys for 10 minutes just in order to gain access to a file, and then not even design the gameplay around this whole key search mission that you do, right? Like, it's not like they thought about, wow, how can we make this a cool experience? It's just, I guess it's a thing that the player has to do now, with the basic shit controls that we have here, but they still do it. And it fits so well into this broken mess of a game that makes me like it. I don't know if I'm ever gonna beat Deadly Premonition. It's supposedly like 15 to 20 hours long, and I don't know what's gonna be around the corner, right? I don't know what's gonna happen when I turn it on tonight and play for another bit. But last night something, I don't know, magical happened. I really just enjoyed playing a game for 2 hours while not knowing what the heck it was that I was playing. Turning it off and being confused up until this point where I'm now sitting down and recording this video. And what I wanted to do is just let you know about it. To those of you who aren't familiar with Deadly Premonition, you know now that it exists. You know now that maybe if you liked what I said, you can now go and check it out and see for yourself what that is all about. Because the weird thing is with Deadly Premonition, somebody starts playing Deadly Premonition, likes it, then tells other people about the game. They don't know what the heck it is. All that the person that told them about Deadly Premonition said either leads to the conclusion that it's trash or that it's genius. And then the person goes and plays it themselves and they form their opinion. That is now what you have to do. Form your opinion on it, because I don't know what the heck it is. But it exists. It is available on the 360 and PlayStation 3, on the PlayStation 3 in form of a director's cut, which was at one point included in the PlayStation Plus like games collection thing. So maybe you downloaded it already. Maybe you can now, after listening to all of this, go check it out and let me know what the heck it is, because I don't know. I sure as heck don't know what the heck this is. Thanks for watching.